One wrong Harley Davidson Fat Boy year could cost you thousands of repairs before the first summer is over. One right decision could give you one of the most iconic American motorcycles ever built running strong for decades. Some of these years hide problems so serious that experienced mechanics refuse to recommend them to anyone. Others are so reliable that owners simply never let them go. And at the very end of this video, the single best Fat Boy you can buy on the used market right now. The specific year, the price range, everything you need before spending a single dollar. That last part alone is worth staying for. Let's start with the years you need to avoid completely. Years to avoid. Number 1. 1999. The Harley Davidson Fat Boy turned 10 years old in 1999. Harley celebrated with a new engine, the Twin Cam 88. More displacement, more power, a new era for the entire Softail lineup including the Fat Boy. What they did not celebrate was what was hiding inside that engine. The Twin Cam 88 used plastic cam chain tensioners, small components, cheap to manufacture, absolutely critical to engine function, and completely inadequate for the job they were supposed to do. The plastic wore out faster than anyone at Harley publicly acknowledged. When it failed, it did not simply stop working, it broke apart. Pieces of plastic traveled into the oil pump. The pump clogged, oil pressure dropped, and then the engine began destroying itself from the inside with no warning and no mercy. Owners who caught it early paid for a cam tensioner replacement. Owners who did not catch it early paid for an engine rebuild. The difference between those two outcomes was often nothing more than timing and luck. On top of the tensioner disaster, the 1999 Fat Boy had transmission problems that owners described as genuinely alarming. The bike would pop out of gear without warning while riding, not at a stop, not during a slow maneuver, while riding at speed. The charging system added a third layer of problems. Voltage regulator failures killed the electrical system without warning, leaving riders stranded with a dead battery and no explanation. 3 separate systems failing on the same model year. The Twin Cam 88 was supposed to represent the future of Harley Davidson engineering. For 1999 Fat Boy owners, it represented something considerably less exciting than that. Years to avoid. Number 2. 2002. The 2002 Fat Boy arrived with a specific promise. Harley had heard the complaints about the 1999 through 2001 models. The cam tensioner failures, the charging system problems, the transmission issues, they had made improvements. The 2002 was supposed to be the fixed version. It was not. The cam chain tensioner problem that had been destroying twin cam engines since 1999 was still present in the 2002 Fat Boys. Not resolved, not improved enough to matter, still quietly accumulating damage in engines across the country while owners had no idea anything was wrong. But 2002 added its own unique disaster on top of the inherited problems. The Delphi fuel injection system. Harley introduced electronic fuel injection on the Fat Boy in 2001. The 2002 model carried forward a version of that system that owners and mechanics consistently describe as one of the most problematic pieces of equipment ever installed on a Softail. The Delphi system caused erratic performance that appeared and disappeared without pattern. Owners would bring their bikes to dealers, technicians would connect diagnostic equipment, the system would show no fault codes, the bike would leave the dealer running fine. Then, the problem would return within days. In the worst documented cases, the Delphi system caused complete engine shutdown while riding. Not gradual loss of power, not a warning light, complete shutdown. The fuel injection problems combined with the continued cam tensioner wear and persistent charging system gremlins created a bike that mechanics described as one of the most frustrating Fat Boy years to work on. Some 2002 owners spent thousands chasing problems that should have never existed on a premium motorcycle. The fixed version they were promised did not arrive in 2002. It would take several more years before Harley genuinely sorted it out. Before we continue further, please subscribe if you haven't already done so and hit the like button. Drop a comment below telling us which year Fat Boy you own or which one you are looking at. Now, let's continue. Years to avoid. Number 3. 2003 to 2004. By 2003, Fat Boy owners had every right to expect Harley had sorted the twin cam problems. They had not. The cam chain tensioner failures that had been destroying engines since 1999 were still happening in 2003 and 2004 models. Still the same plastic tensioners, still the same catastrophic failure mode, still the same expensive consequences for owners who did not know what was quietly happening inside their engine. But 2003 brought something new on top of the inherited problems. Extreme vibration. Every Harley vibrates. That's part of the character. Part of what riders buy into when they choose a V-twin cruiser. But the vibration on 2003 Fat Boys was documented across owner forums and mechanic reports as significantly beyond normal levels. Not character, not charm. Mechanical vibration severe enough to cause rider discomfort on anything longer than a short ride, and in some documented cases, severe enough to cause damage to components that were never designed to absorb that level of continuous movement. The closed-loop fuel injection system introduced in 2003 models added another layer of frustration. Poor idle, inconsistent throttle response, a bike that felt uncertain and unrefined in ways that a premium American cruiser simply should not feel. Then came 2004. The transmission problems that had surfaced on earlier twin-cam models returned in force on 2004 Fat Boys. Rough shifting, difficulty finding gears cleanly, owners describing the experience of riding a $15,000 motorcycle that shifted like something considerably less refined. 2 years in a row where buying a brand new Fat Boy meant paying premium money for problems that should have been solved years earlier. Harley was still learning lessons that their customers were paying to teach them. Years to avoid. Number 4. 2007 to 2009. If there is one stretch of Fat Boy history that mechanics consistently warn used bike shoppers about without hesitation, it is this one. 2007 through 2009. 3 years where multiple problems arrived simultaneously, and none of them were cheap to fix. Start with the heat. The Fat Boy positioned its oil tank directly under the seat. In theory, a practical design decision. In practice, it meant that every BTU the engine generated traveled directly into the one place the rider sits for hours at a time. Summer rides in 2007 through 2009 Fat Boys were not just uncomfortable, owners described them as genuinely painful. Inner thighs cooking against a tank that had been absorbing engine heat for an hour. Riders cutting rides short not because they wanted to, but because they physically needed to. Then came the cam chain tensioners. Still, in 2007. Still the same fundamental weakness that had been destroying twin-cam engines since 1999. 8 years of documented failures and Harley was still installing components that mechanics had been warning about since the beginning of the twin-cam era. The fuel injection on these years was inconsistent in ways that frustrated both owners and technicians. Twitchy throttle response, hesitation at certain RPM ranges. A bike that felt like it was fighting itself rather than working with the rider. Starter problems were widespread. Charging system gremlins returned. Owners on forums described replacing batteries repeatedly before finally tracing the real problem to a failing charging system that no amount of battery replacement was going to fix. 2007 brought an additional specific problem. Rapid rear tire wear was documented so consistently across owner reports that it became one of the most recognized Fat Boy complaints of that era. 3 years, multiple documented problems. None of them are inexpensive. This stretch sits at the top of every mechanic's avoid list for good reason. Years to avoid. Number 5. 2012 to 2014. You might think by 2012 Harley had finally sorted the Fat Boy completely. The Twin Cam 103 had arrived. More displacement, more torque, a genuine improvement over everything that came before it. On paper, the 2012 through 2014 Fat Boy looked like the most complete version of the model yet. Then owners actually lived with them. The heat problem that had defined the 2007 through 2009 era was still present. Not as severe, but still there. The oil tank was still under the seat. Summer rides were still uncomfortable in ways that owners of other cruisers at the same price point simply did not experience. Riders were still spending money on aftermarket oil coolers and custom seats just to make their supposedly improved motorcycle tolerable in warm weather. The emission standards that Harley had to meet during this period forced the factory to tune the fuel injection lean. Leaner than it should have been for smooth, predictable power delivery. The result was a throttle response that owners consistently described as jerky. Not aggressive, not exciting, jerky. The kind of throttle behavior that makes a bike feel unrefined rather than powerful. Fixing it required an aftermarket tuner. Not a suggestion, a practical necessity for anyone who wanted their Fat Boy to run the way a premium motorcycle should run from the factory. This is an additional expense nobody budgets for when they write a check for a brand new Harley Davidson. ABS availability improved on these years, and the 6-speed transmission was genuinely better. Those are real positives worth acknowledging. But a motorcycle that requires aftermarket investment just to deliver acceptable throttle response is a motorcycle that left the factory unfinished, and 2012 through 2014 Fat Boy owners paid to finish it themselves. Years to avoid. Number 6. 2018. The Milwaukee 8 engine arrived in 2017 and changed everything about what a Fat Boy could be. Less heat, less vibration, more power, more refinement. the most significant engineering leap the Fat Boy had seen in decades. Riders who had been waiting for Harley to finally solve the problems that had plagued the twin cam era felt like their patience had been rewarded. Then came 2018, and the first-year adoption problems that arrived with it. The electronic throttle control system introduced in 2018 Fat Boys developed a failure mode that owners described as genuinely alarming. The system would cause the bike to stall unexpectedly, not during aggressive riding, not under unusual conditions, at normal operating speeds during normal riding situations, without warning, without a pattern that made it predictable or avoidable. A motorcycle that stalls unexpectedly at speed is not an inconvenience, it is a safety problem. The fuel system on 2018 models added a second layer of concern. Owners reported the bike running lean in ways that caused more than rough performance. In documented cases, the lean condition caused actual engine damage. Not wear over time, damage, on a brand new motorcycle with minimal miles. Dealers received complaints, forums filled with owner reports. The problems were real and documented across enough examples to establish a clear pattern rather than isolated incidents. The foundation Harley built with the Milwaukee 8 was genuinely excellent. The 2017 launch year sorted many issues before they reached customers. The 2019 and 2020 models represent the Milwaukee 8 at its best, but 2018 sits in between those two realities. A year where the promise of the new platform had not yet caught up with the execution. Buying a 2018 Fat Boy today means inheriting problems that Harley solved the very next year. That is not a trade worth making. That is 6 Fat Boy years that will drain your wallet and test your patience. Screenshot them, write them down, send this to anyone you know shopping for a used Fat Boy right now, because here is where the conversation changes completely. The same motorcycles that produced those disasters also produce some of the most reliable and satisfying cruisers Harley Davidson has ever built. And right now, every single one of them is sitting on the used market waiting to be found. These are the Fat Boy years worth hunting for, and at the very end of this list, the single best Fat Boy you can buy in 2026. The specific year, the price range, and exactly what to check before you hand over a single dollar. Stay with us. Years worth buying. Number 1. 1990 to 1998 Evolution Era. Before the twin cam, before the plastic tensioners, before the fuel injection problems and the heat complaints and the charging system gremlins, there was the Evolution. The Fat Boy launched in 1990 with Harley's Evolution engine, and that combination produced something genuinely special. Simple, honest, mechanical in a way that modern motorcycles rarely achieve. The Evolution was air-cooled with no complex electronic systems to fail and no cam tensioner time bombs waiting to go off. Mechanics who have worked on every generation of the Fat Boy consistently say the same thing about Evolution-era models. When properly maintained, they simply do not die. Carbureted rather than fuel-injected, which means tuning is straightforward and adjustments can be made by any competent mechanic without specialized diagnostic equipment. The aftermarket support built up around these engines over 30+ years is enormous. The original solid disc wheels, the classic proportions, the Fat Boy silhouette that launched 1,000 imitations. These bikes are not perfect, they vibrate, they require more frequent maintenance than modern machines, and finding a clean example with honest history takes patience. But find the right one and you have a motorcycle that will outlast almost everything else on this list. Years worth buying. Number 2. 2005 to 2006. If you want a twin cam era Fat Boy without the worst of the twin cam problems, this is your window. By 2005, Harley had addressed enough of the early twin cam failures to make these years genuinely recommendable. The cam tensioner situation had improved. The most catastrophic early failure modes had been largely resolved. Owners who maintained their bikes properly were logging serious miles without serious problems. Then 2006 brought something worth paying attention to. Displacement increased from 1450cc to 1584cc. The Twin Cam 96 delivered more torque right where Fat Boy riders actually use it. Low in the rev range, at highway speeds, on long straight roads where extra pull makes every mile more satisfying. The carbureted versions from this era have aged particularly well. Simple, tunable, forgiving of imperfect maintenance in ways that later fuel-injected models simply are not. The 2005 and 2006 Fat Boy sits in a specific sweet spot. Old enough that any remaining early twin cam problems have either been addressed by previous owners or are well documented enough that pre-purchase inspection will catch them. New enough that parts are readily available and mechanics know these bikes completely. Clean examples with documented service history represent genuine used market value right now. Years worth buying. Number 3. 2013. By 2013, the Fat Boy had finally become what it always should have been. Not perfect, but genuinely sorted in a way that none of the previous twin cam years quite managed simultaneously. The twin cam 103 engine was now fully mature. 3 years of real-world refinement since the introduction had worked out the issues that plagued earlier examples. Strong low-end torque delivered with a smoothness and consistency that earlier twin cam owners had been waiting years to experience. The engine pulled hard from the bottom and kept pulling without drama or hesitation. The 6-speed cruise drive transmission that arrived in 2012 was now properly sorted. Highway cruising dropped into a relaxed, comfortable RPM range that reduced vibration, improved fuel economy, and took genuine fatigue out of longer rides. Owners who had been doing day trips on earlier Fat Boys reported that the 2013 made those same rides noticeably easier on their bodies. ABS was available, cruise control was available, the electronics that had been problematic on earlier fuel-injected models were now reliable enough to trust completely. Here's what the used market consistently shows about 2013 Fat Boys. High mileage examples are everywhere because owners trusted them enough to actually ride them hard. That trust was earned honestly. Years worth buying. Number 4. 2019 to 2020. This is where the Fat Boy story reaches its peak. The Milwaukee 8 that launched in 2017 spent 2 years getting sorted in the real world. The first-year adoption problems that made 2018 a year to avoid were fully resolved by 2019. What remained was the accumulated benefit of everything Harley had learned about building the Fat Boy across 3 decades of continuous production. The heat that had defined Fat Boy ownership for so many years was dramatically reduced. Not eliminated entirely, because this is still a big air-cooled V-twin and that character is part of what you're buying, but managed to the point where riders stopped noticing it as a problem and started experiencing it simply as a presence. Vibration reduced significantly through improved counterbalancing. The Milwaukee 8 114 producing 119 foot-pounds of torque delivered with a smoothness that twin cam owners struggled to believe the first time they rode one. Electronics that worked exactly as advertised every single time. No stalling, no lean running, no charging gremlins. Just a motorcycle doing precisely what it promised. High mileage 2019 and 2020 Fat Boys are genuinely difficult to find on the used market because owners are not selling them. That is the only endorsement that actually matters. The single best Fat Boy to buy right now in 2026. The single best Fat Boy on the used market right now is the 2019 Fat Boy 114. Here's exactly why. It sits in the Milwaukee 8 sweet spot. Every first-year adoption problem from 2018 fully resolved. Every improvement Harley made to the platform locked in and proven across real-world miles. The 114 cubic inch engine delivering serious torque with heat and vibration levels that finally match what a premium motorcycle should feel like. Used market prices on clean 2019 examples currently range between $12,000 and $16,000. For a motorcycle that cost over $19,000 new, that represents genuine value. What to check before you buy. 1. Oil consumption. Milwaukee 8 engines can consume oil. Check the level and ask for maintenance records. 2. Compensator. A knocking noise on cold startup indicates a worn compensator sprocket. Budget $500 or negotiate accordingly. 3. Service history. A 2019 with documented service history at reasonable intervals is worth significantly more than one without. 4. Evidence of drops. Check crash bars, foot pegs, and engine cases for scrapes. Find a clean 2019 Fat Boy 114 with documented history between $12,000 and $16,000. That is the one worth hunting for. 6 years to avoid, 4 years worth every dollar, and one specific year that represents the best value on the used Fat Boy market right now. Now you know which is which. Drop a comment below and tell us which year Fat Boy you own or which one you're hunting for. Hit the like button and subscribe for more videos like this one.